the Frank saga. It's just something I've been looking forward to for a long time. Start from the beginning.
It all started when Zach, Joe, and Lucas started hunting a piece of public land sitting back here. And I was at work one day and I got a picture that they had shot a doe, which was awesome. I was super pumped. It was the first deer we got on camera, a kill.
And on the retrieval of that deer, we had a landowner come driving down the road and kind of talk to us.
And he says, hey, I got land right across the road here. If you guys want to check it out and maybe hunt it, you know, I'd be okay with that. So anyway, these guys call me and they tell me about it and they send me some aerial pictures, and this property just, it looks awesome.
So right that next day, I had work, but Joe had went out by himself and he really didn't even touch the tip of the iceberg of the property. He came back after he set, I think it was 2 cameras, and he told me it looked really, really good.
The sign that I was able to find was just incredible. I couldn't believe all the things that I was seeing. I mean, there were scrapes along every single low hanging tree. There was rubs everywhere.
These boys got to work. They got some cameras out there. There's a creek right off the road, so they put a couple cameras out, and then I remember they said, Shay, we got a big one on film.
Zach woke me up, came out all excited, had the phone in my face. He was like, dude, I told you. Just a matter of time before he got a monster. There I laid eyes on Frank for the first time. Had his head up in a tree. Beautiful 10-point buck. Just absolutely perfect. Big buck that we had been dying to see on that camera.
He was a beautiful, mature deer.
Frank was always like our #1 hit list buck. So we got everything set up. Shason and I actually went out and hung a set, and I think 3 days later, Luke's first time hunting that property, and he actually shot his first buck. That video's on our channel, check that out.
Shason and I went out there and we had the hunt of a lifetime.
Joe met me out there that morning. I remember we walked out. As we're walking out, there were deer in the field running around. We had to wait. He filmed me walking up the bean edge, and we just had deer moving everywhere.
It's one of those things where you just know something, like anything could happen at any point. Like there's just something lurking around the corner that is just gonna change your day around.
Get up in the stand, you know, some time goes by, and before we know it, there's some does working around the tree. And Joe said at first, he said, something's going on in here. These does are acting weird. There were 2 of them, and they actually ran past this one direction, turned around, ran back, and I started to get that feeling. You know that feeling when you're hunting and it's almost like your gut or your instinct tells you something's gonna happen, get ready.
10 minutes after I said that, they come right back towards us and they cut around this cedar tree. And I mean, you can see it in the video from last year, but you can see them come around this cedar tree, and all of a sudden they all kind of jump at once, and then there he is, coming right around the same path as those does. And as soon as I saw him, I mean, I knew. I told Chase, there he is. That's the big boy. That's Frank.
My heart's racing, and all of a sudden it's go time. The big deer that we got on camera on this property that we just so happened to get permission for is walking right towards your tree.
After he came into view, he just let out this yell of a grunt at these does, and you can hear it in that grunt. I can hear it every single day. I think about it every day. And hopped at these does, and then got in front of the tree where Shason really didn't have a shot, and then I don't know what it was, but he hopped back another 2 feet, and then Shason decided, you know, he's got to take a shot, so he took it.
Anyway, I knew it was then or never, so I let the arrow fly, and I hit him, what I thought was a good shot, but instantly, it's just something about the way it looked. There was way too much arrow sticking out. He seemed really like it didn't faze him a lot. The way he reacted just instantly, it put that pain in my gut that was like, you know, this isn't good. I don't know what this is going to turn out to be.
When he shot Frank, hit him in the shoulder. Unfortunate, but we looked for him for like 8 hours, didn't find him. We were all pretty satisfied because one, we didn't leave a stone unturned. We tried everything, went on the neighbor's property, got permission from them. We basically looked anywhere within a mile each way of that tree where he was shot.
it was just pretty clear to us that, you know, with the very small amount of blood and the evidence we gathered from the film, I mean, it was a shoulder shot. He's probably either alive or, God forbid, he's wounded and laying dead somewhere. We don't know.
Then we got a call that night. Landowner said that he really didn't want us out there hunting anymore since we were kind of walking around doing all that stuff. Hunting season was coming close for him because he did first shotgun season. He just kind of asked us to leave it out. So we went out, pulled all of our stuff, and I believe it was like that next week, Christian had called him asking if he could go look for Frank.
He gets out there and not out there for 45 minutes. Sure enough, he has an encounter with Frank.
I finally got them in this little waterway, still 200 plus yards out. Needed a better look at them, and there was a pretty decent breeze. I was wearing just work clothes, and I gave it a shot in the dark, and I grunted with my mouth. And next thing you know, his head whips around, and he was on a mission back to me. Still, I didn't know this was Frank. I didn't know who it was. So I laid down in the grass, and sure enough, it was Frank.
You could tell he had a minor limp, but it was easy to see that the deer was gonna live.
It was a bitter relief to find him still alive. It was kind of a bummer that he wasn't dead, but it made all of us and the landowner very happy that he was still alive.
That was very, very encouraging. And then even more encouraging news, the landowner did mention something about getting us out there this year. So we were all pretty happy about that.
That led to a long road of trying to get over what had happened.
Fast forward to shed season. The guys went out and walked and walked and walked, and we couldn't find any antlers to Frank or these other deer.
Into the summer, we are running 40 cameras this summer. Picked up a lot of permission, and we just never knew if his property was going to be one that we could hunt again.
We talked to him a few times, and before you know it, all at once, we got permission to put cameras in there.
So we threw out some cameras. Got a lot of pictures of some nice bucks.
A couple bucks that we never seen before, new faces, you know, some were young, a couple decent mature ones, but still no Frank.
And we were just all itching, waiting to see if he was going to show back up. Nose is buried in the phones as soon as we get that notification from our cell cameras.
Well, you know, same thing as before. You get a message, and here's exactly what we've all been wanting and waiting for.
He's back.
Frank's back.
Frank is back.
Frank's back.
Frank is back.
He's a crazy nice looking buck. He's still got that main frame 10 on the left side, and because Shason hit him in that right shoulder, when you hit a deer from the shoulder up to his neck, it's going to affect that same side of the rack. But if you hit him from the shoulder back, it's going to affect the left side.
And we're going to do everything we can to end this story and to kill that deer. So that's the excitement leading into this season. That's going to be the main deer on my mind. And basically, we're just going to give it hell and see what happens.
Pumped to have Frank back on the cameras, pumped to be able to hunt out there again, and pumped for another season. We got 4 days out as of right now when I'm shooting this video, so we appreciate you guys watching, and make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a lot. If you're wanting to check out the merchandise with our online store, it'll be in the description, and stay strapped in for a very eventful season. We got a lot of nice bucks on camera, but one of the biggest targets, I should say, that we're going to be looking for is Frank. So appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned.